right? So in a older days, when we have a physical data center, and that data center is going to build with everything which is physical, like a rack, correct? Like a server within the rack. And then from the traditional data center, we moved to a virtualized data center, right? There we seen that in a virtualized data center, we not only virtualize the server, we also virtualize the network, we also virtualize the storage, correct? So when we have a software defined storage, when we have a software defined network, we generally refer this as a term called software defined data center, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what we understand last time. Just for your refresher, uh, we create a server inside our data center, right? And we create two server. One, in fact, Windows server, and one will be a Linux server, correct? And which platform we used during our last lab? We use the platform which is VMware. Okay,
Yeah.
correct. So this is a very big name in the industry, and if we know VMware, generally we know that how the cloud works. Okay, so this is how the world is. So last time we have stopped around software defined data center. Now we are moving towards the next line. So I'm going to use the same.
So Bipin,
Yeah,
just one question.
yeah, please.
So does every VMware has a hypervisor?
VMware is basically a hypervisor only.
Okay, okay,
They does not have any operating system. They does not have anything else. So they are basically known for an hypervisor.
okay.
Okay. So now we are moving to a next section, which is from the hyper converged data center to a private cloud data center. So how the tradition happen? We have a physical data center. With the physical data center, we move to the hyper converged data center, and from the hyper converged data center, we move towards the private cloud data center. Just understand all these differences. Uh, so first we talked about the traditional data center. Then we have something which is called hyper converged data center, or just for the sake of simplicity, I can say that it is a virtualized data center, right? And now we also moved one step ahead in a recent time, which is called as a private cloud. So why the word they use a private cloud?
Is it specifically is whatever the resources are there, it is set up to address only one organization or someone's need, so more secure sort of things.
No. So for an example, if I say that, let's say this is my this is my VMware setup, okay, and here let's say I have. Just give me a second. So I say that this is my virtualized data center. Virtualized data center is still my data center, correct? Now you cannot access it without my approval, without my permission.
Yeah.
Correct now, right? So why we the word they start
Yeah.
using the cloud? Now this is a totally a different world. This is a different meaning. It is now putting to my data center. Correct now, right? So let me make it more simplify when we try to compare this whole concept as, so when we say that a traditional data center, you can treat it as a my home. Okay. When we say that it is a virtualized data center, you can think of an apartment. Okay. When we say
Yeah.
that it is a private cloud, you can say that it's a kind of a service apartment or maybe a hotel. Everything is remain same, right? So what the difference you get when you are using a service apartment or maybe a hotel? You want lunch, you just call anyone, right? You need a water, you just call anyone. Correct, no? You want to clean your room, you just call anyone. That is the only difference come between apartment and maybe a service apartment. Correct?
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything is same. Correct, no? Right? So it means that when we add something which is called as a service, when we add something which is called as a self-service, we call the same data center as a private cloud. Clear?
Yeah.
Right? So same data center, but the moment I introduced a word called service in that data center is known as private cloud. It means what? It means that when we have a concept of a data center, very first thing is that we must have a virtualized environment, right? So when I say that it's a virtualized environment, it includes the server, network, and a storage. Correct? All three things is get virtualized. So it means that the server plus the network plus the storage, everything is now virtualized. And in this virtualized data center, I am going to add a new thing here. I'm going to add a new thing here, that is a plus now, which is called a self-service portal. It's all clear now, right?
Yeah.
So the moment I introduce something which is called as a self-service portal, now the moment I introduce this part, this whole data center, we can call it as a cloud. If it is a private to you, then it is called as a private cloud. It's clear so far? Yeah, once again, let me. When we have a virtualized environment, okay, and in that virtualized environment, when we have a self-service portal, this whole environment get a new terminology, which is called a cloud. Cloud means I cannot see anything what is running in behind. Correct? I never come to know that what is running in behind. I only see a portal. So if I ask you, what is the Netflix? It's again a cloud, correct? Na? Right? What we see in a Netflix, we only see a portal. In that portal, we logged in, and then we watch the video, movie, song of my choice. But what is running behind the Netflix? Is it a VMware? Is it a Hyper-V? Or is it any kind of other technology? I do not know truly. I have no clue. Correct, no? Right? Is it running a IBM server or is it running a Dell server? I don't know. I only see a portal. Clear? Right? So it means that when we have a virtualized environment, in that virtualized environment, when we introduced a self-service portal. That portal is only used to get access by my internal employee. Remember my word, internal employee. We call it as a private cloud. Now, why company create a private cloud? What is the logic behind to create a private cloud? Because virtualized environment is quite okay. Why we introduce a self-service portal? Why want in my company, anyone can come and log into the portal and they can say that, hey, I want a server. Now let's come a little bit of business here. It's no more technical. It's more about a concept of a business, how the company doing a business, how the company is making a profit, and how the different department is used to work as a profit. Now I'm going to give you some example just to make you understand that why the private cloud has been introduced in a company. So let's say for an example, take any company example. Let's say this is a company called Wipro. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Wipro. So Azim Premji, who is a CEO, he wants a profit. So what the Wipro does that? Wipro have a various department, right? One department where the project team go and sit, which is called as a Wipro technology, right? One department where the, all the sales and marketing team will go and sit. One department which we can say that it can be a sales department, and then we have a one department which is a HR department. It can be a marketing department. Now let's assume one fundamental. The project team get earn, for an example, 100 crore rupees by doing a project. This project team is, let's say, a lead by Ram Manohar. So project team head by Ram Manohar. Ram Manohar ji, congratulations. Huh? Okay. Next is lead by maybe Grijes. So marketing team is lead by Grijes. Sales team, let's say for example, lead by Viru. HR team is led by, I believe, Srinivas. Look at that, the costing, how it's happened. So project team earn 100 crore. Your marketing team able to generate a revenue, for example, 200 crore. Sales team is able to generate a revenue called 500 crore. HR does not earn any money because HR in any company does not have anything. But let's say their costing is about 25 crore, right? So this is the cost. Rest all are earning. So for an example, in a Wipro, what is the total earning of a Wipro? It's going to be 800 crore, correct? True, right? So the incentive policy of the Wipro is anyone who is leading the Wipro as a CEO, they will get the total earning. They have to less the cost. So earning is 100 crore. And for example, to run the business of the Wipro, the cost is going to be 450 crore. So what is the actual profit Wipro is making? Can anyone tell?
250 crore.
200?
350.
300, 200, 300.
350 crore, right? This is actually a profit, right? Good. It's clear now. So 450 crore is what the total expenses. Total expense include a lot of other expenses which people will make. It's including the employee salary, the real estate costing, bagala, 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 right? Now, out of this 350 crore, let's say for an example, the profit of the project team after calculating everything is going to be only 25 crore. 25 crore is going to be a costing. Out of this 200 crore, let's say only 50 crore is a profit, rest 150 crore is a cost. For sales team, let's say we say that it's going to be a 250 crore is going to be a cost. Correct now, right? So the incentive policy here is that CEO will get 10%. Project team lead Ram Manohar will going to get, I can say 15%. Grijesh is going to get 10%. Sales team is going to get, let's say 15%. HR does not have a direct earnings, but still just how much salary they can save, how much they can within the budget they can get. So HR head will going to get a 5%. Now, if you remove all this money, what exactly going to get by the Mr. Investor, which is the investor is Azim Premji. Trust me, my friend, if you calculate all this earning now, Azim Premji will going to cry. Azim Premji might be even going in a minus. Forget about the profit. Azim Premji says that, boss, I have such a good business. My company is getting good turnover. Everyone in my company is making a profit. Everyone is earning good incentive. But in my bank account, I am getting nothing. Correct? Because one cost which is hidden everywhere. Can anyone tell which is the cost which is not able to realize by any of the department people, but they are using very much, and without that they cannot do even a single business? The cost of the IT infrastructure.
Infrastructure.
Correct? Nowhere it is visible. Correct now, right? Now, let's say for an example, to run these businesses, IT infrastructure has to, because to have a project team, right, you need something called a PMP module. PMP module might be running inside a 2 server, then a database, right? Correct? Then for a marketing team, you might have a Salesforce, correct? Correct now, right? Right. So just like that, maybe a sales, you have a lot of sales literature, lot of portal where you have your sales material, marketing material is available, right? Right. So maybe you have a sales kit. Same for an HR, you have a lot of application, for example, a payroll application, an attendance application, correct? Which is running there, right? So these applications are running inside a server. They are using a database. They are using other kind of infrastructure, and that infrastructure is very costly. It's not free. Now, these all people who is making so much money, Ram Manohar ji is very happy that, hey, my team has earned 25 crore profit. I want 15% in my salary. But does Ram Manohar ji also realize that to make this 25 crore profit, they are actually using an infrastructure which is worth rupees 10 crore per month. Correct? They are using SAP. SAP is very costly. They are using Oracle server in the background. Its license is very costly. They are running in a very high-end server. The server cost is very costly. And to maintain this infrastructure, they have a huge team. I hope everyone realize now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what the Azim Premji realized. Azim Premji says that all these people are making me fool, right? They are using the IT infrastructure, but they are not adding this infrastructure cost into their profit and loss. So they become profitable and I become a loser, right? End of the day. So what they say that, okay guys, here we are. They say that I am going to give you a portal. So now marketing team, or maybe I can say that, let's say marketing team wants to implement a kind of a 10 server infrastructure in which they want to run an application which will help them to market or to connect the large base of customer globally. So this can be a different kind of analysis tool. This can be a marketing tool. All these tools they want to run this one. So what the Grijes has to do now, Grijes had to log into the portal. Just watch the changes now. Grijes has to log into the self-service portal. They have to request the 10 server infrastructure. So in this portal, just like that, in any of the e-commerce portal, you go and select the different kind of services. So they have to come and select the different kind of services. Each services has a now cost mentioned there. So the moment he select the 10 server infrastructure, he find that the cost is going 2.5 crore. He said that, oh, then he go back and talk to his team. Hey, my team, 2.5 crore is go from my bottom line, from my profit. Is it okay that if we can work around maybe only in a 6 server? Can we optimize something? Can we do something in a state of a 10 server? Can we go ahead and do only in a 10 server, in a 6 server? So he will do all maths calculation with his team. His team says that, okay, maybe I can omit these particular services for a time being. We can even go without that services. So all good. So they will say that, okay, in a state of a 2.5 crore, let me, the cost is now coming around 1.2 crore. So 1.2 crore is going to be a cost. Okay, fantastic. So this 6 server is now coming to the CFO. The moment you write, it will coming to the CFO. CFO will see that, okay, marketing team has ordered a 6 server infrastructure, which is costing a 1.2 crore. So in an account, they will make this amount a credit automatically. Okay, and then they approve. The moment the approval come, then the IT team is go ahead and provision these services. So end of the day, when the cost come, CFO will deduct 1.2 crore from this bottom line. I hope everyone understand now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it means that 1.2 crore, whatever the cost is coming for the IT, that price will cut from the profit, whatever the profit is making by the Grijes. So Grijes 10% will not calculate on a 50 crore. Grijes 10% will calculate on a 49 crore. Correct, no?
Yeah.
Grijes is planning to buy a Mercedes end of the year, but ultimately he settled down on Mahindra, right? Correct, no? Because he's 1.2 crore going. Right? So this process is called a chargeback process. Got that? Right? So this is how the now company start working. They realize that IT team budget is growing every year by year. And why IT team is budget is growing? It's not the IT team who actually provision anything, right? It's only the department request they are provisioning the services. Correct now? Because every department has a different application completely. Correct? Right? And because this application need to be require an IT infrastructure to run, to maintain that IT infrastructure, they require a manpower. So all these cost coming, their electricity bill is coming, their network bill is coming, their internet bill is coming, their license bill is coming. So all bills is coming to the organization, and nobody in the organization is exactly taking care of it. So because of the private cloud, every department is now become very cautious. So the moment they add anything more, if they want any kind of a services to be deployed, they have only ways that they try to optimize that. They do not come and sit on the head of the IT head and say that no, I want this server to be done in an evening. It cannot be done in an evening. The moment you do that, you have to understand that back of the mind, it is going to cost me. Clear, no? Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, right. So I hope everyone is clear why private cloud come, why people have introduced a self-service portal, because this self-service portal now help the organization to manage the overall cost. Not only overall cost, anyone can do an audit even. Audit become very easy now, because now we are very much clear that which department is using which server. If I have 100 server, I am very much clear that this 10 server belong to which department and why they are using it. Correct, no? Right? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now I will take you to a private cloud environment where you will see a self-service portal, and then we try to launch a server and all this blah blah blah. Just give me a sec. Let me log in there. So I'm gonna stop a sharing for a time being. Just a sec. I'm going to share it back. Hope everyone is able to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my private cloud based out on VMware. But this time you see a different environment. Last time we directly logged into my VMware and we are able to create a server. But this time it is asking me to first use the username and password to authenticate. You see the difference now? Last time we directly end and we simply go and right click and say create a server. But this time it is asking me, it is coming some different portal and they asking me to first give your username and password. This portal is basically a self-service portal. Okay. So now I am going to give a permission.
So Bipin,
Yeah.
so this portal will be provided by the host who is providing the cloud infrastructure, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Very true. Very true.
I think it's just the control who is ordering the service.
Yes,
You know
exactly.
that.
Exactly. Yes. Correct. So maybe I am giving them to Srinivas. Can you click your mouse?
Alright.
Yeah. So I already logged in on this server, so you can use Windows Session Authentication. So click the use Windows Session Authentication. Yeah. And click login. So this is my very small private cloud where I have one data center. In that data center, I have a 2 server. So let me first make you understand that how the private cloud has been designed. So very top, you have to define a data center. You see a site A. Able to see?
Yeah.
Site A, it can be, you can treat that it is might be my UK branch. If I have a Bangalore branch or India branch, I will go and create something called
New data center.
clear, right? So let's say Srinivasji, can you click new data center and give it a name called maybe 1 second. I think Viru has tried to join. Yeah. Sorry, you can go ahead. Just delete that one and type site B India data center. So a structure is a little bit different, right? So say India data center. Yeah, very good. Very good, sir. Click OK. Cool. Got that, right? So this is how you can go ahead and create a data center inside that. Now, inside a data center, you can have a 1 server, 2 server, 10 server, 100 server, depending how big the data center you want to make. And in each server, you have to install a hypervisor, which is a VMware hypervisor. So in my lab, if you see, we have a 2 server. It is a ESX01 and then we have a ESX02. Correct?
Yeah.
Right? Now, this 2 server is configured in such a way that if one server fail by any chance, all the virtual machine which is running inside this server will automatically get taken over by the another server. This is called cluster. This is called clustering. So we not only installed 2 different server, but we configured it such a way that even if one server fail, all the virtual machine which is running inside that server, it will go and use the another server to run. So you as a customer, you never see a downtime until and unless both server does not get fail. Clear?
Yeah.
That means always we should have 2 servers set up, is it?
Yes, yes. It's a 2 service. Oh, okay. Correct? Now, let's say for an example, I am going to create one virtual machine here. So just right click one of the server, or maybe you can right click a cluster, it says site A cluster 1. Yeah. Now you got option called new virtual machine. You can even add a new host, right? So let's create a new virtual machine. Click that one. Same wizard is coming, right? Correct? So go ahead and click create new. So say, just select create a new virtual machine. Go ahead and say next. In which data center? So definitely my server is only in a site A data center. Site B does not have any server, right? Yeah, go ahead and just give a virtual machine name. Maybe again, it's the same CS, that is a CoreSac hyphen HR. Yeah, hyphen SRV01. Yeah, fantastic. Great one. Just go ahead and say next. Right? So it by default select a cluster. So it can go and create in any data center, any of the physical servers. So go ahead and say next. So I have a 2 storage which is here. So let's select the first one. No worry. Oh, hold on. No. Yeah. One second, Ram. Yeah. Go ahead and say next. So 30 GB is free, which is quite okay for us. So go ahead and say next. Yes. So this is my version of hypervisor. It's quite okay. Good. So I'm going to install a Windows server.
Same version.
Yeah, you can select a version. So maybe 2016. I'm not going to install today because it will going to take time, but just to have a realization. Go ahead and say next. All good now. So you can give, let's say, one CPU, 4 GB memory, and maybe 10 GB hard or 2 GB hard disk. Memory, just give only a 2 GB. I think it's quite okay because anyhow we are not installing it. Cool. Just make a 2 GB only.
Just 2.
2 because we are not installing, right?
Yeah.
We are only simulating, and just go ahead and say next.
Another option. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say next. Cool. So just say next.
Let's finish.
Finish. Wait. Say. Click finish. Very good. Congratulations, sir. You have created a new server.
Okay.
Got that now, right? Yes. So you have a new server, CSHR SRV01, right? Correct? Yeah. The new server has been created. So you do not have to worry. Now I'm going to give a control to, let's say, Kojima.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, Kojima. So
Yeah.
you have a server now which is running, and where this server is in which server? ESX02. Are you able to see?
Yeah.
Right? This is 02. Now let's say I want to move this server from 02 to 01. Okay.
Okay.
So right click the server. Good.
Yeah.
Right
Sorry.
click, right click. Yeah, very good. So are you able to see anything which is called migrate?
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Click.
That, yeah, yeah. Please click that one. Good. So I am going to make change computer resources only. So go ahead and say next. So I am going to use the ESX01 because currently my server is in ESX02, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just go ahead and say next.
There is
Oh, sorry.
some different noise coming. Is everyone able to hear that noise, or is it only me?
You able to hear the noise?
Yeah. Is anyone running a fan next to the mic or something?
Anyone else is
It's
hearing the
tough.
noise?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So now just go ahead and say next. Finish. Wait. What will happen after a certain time? It is already changed to, just look at that. Previously it was on 02
So this 01 and 02 are virtual servers. Is
servers.
it?
Yes, yes.
And what we created SRV 01 was there
Yeah,
all server
virtual machine.
machine.
Yeah, inside the server.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a physical server, then we install a VMware software. So the
Hmm.
moment I install a VMware software, it become a virtual server or virtual host.
Okay. Yeah.
For that, right? And within that, you can create n numbers. Now look at the operation, how easy it is, right? Correct, now? So I can move my machine from one server to another server, one data center to another data center, one cluster to another cluster, and that is just a smooth.
So Vipin, in this case, as you explained yesterday, so it's just like because you have the physical whatever the things, but using VMware, it's facilitating virtualized everything.
Right.
Virtualize all the
Exactly.
resources you can move. Without this VMware, you cannot do because
You cannot do that.
can't
Right.
move it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
facilitating that.
Exactly. Because without VMware, then you have a lot of troubles. Correct? Huh?
Correct.
Right. Right. So now if you see that, I have a, this is my server. This is my virtual machines. So all these virtual machines is coming here. Okay. This is my virtual storage, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So we have only one. This is the two storage which we have, and then this is my virtual network. See that VM network, right? And this is my virtual switch.
Yeah.
Correct. So it means that whatever we are going to do, that it's the same thing. We can work on the whole virtualization, and it make my life easy. Correct. Now I as a you can say administrator, I can relax, making my life easy, and I also getting a chargeback. Correct. Now, so it means that end of the day, I can go back to my management and say that, hey boss, give me appraisal. Right. Then many times management will give a more preference to the salespeople. Correct. Now, in any organization, wherever you work, you see that the major chunk of salary incentive which goes to the people or a department who belongs to a sales. Right. Because they treat the IT always as a costing, but they are running the business on IT, but they treat the IT as a costing. They never treat the IT as a earning member. But now I as an IT, I can also say that, hey, I as an IT, whatever the costing is coming to me is anyhow I am going to recover from the department. So I am neither in a profit nor in a loss. Plus, because of me, you are making your business run. True, no?
Yeah.
Bipin, what cloud platform this is being used here?
It's a VMware.
VMware. Okay, they have their own cloud like
Yeah. VMware have
Azure
their
and
own cloud. Hyper-V have their own cloud. Citrix have their own cloud also.
okay, okay.
Correct, huh? Right? So using this cloud your software, you can only make the things to run. Correct? Right? So I am going to now give a control to Viru. Viru.
Yeah.
Let's see if
Okay.
you can take a control.
And Pipin, one more thing,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
please.
mentioned about this failover thing that, if one cluster goes down, it will
Yeah.
be, one server goes down, it will be taken care by another server.
Yeah.
So you have to set up the few things, right, to make this happen.
Yeah. So this is all our configuration we have to do. Exactly.
Yeah, Bipin, I can take control.
Okay. So now you just right click this region 01 under the VM network and say that hold on. Right click that data center site A data center, or maybe India data center. Right click the India data center on top. Yes. Right click. Yeah. You get something called distributed switch. The fourth number.
Yes.
Say
Yeah.
new distributed switch. So attention here, sir. We are going to create a switch. Switch as a software, right? That's the magic. So give it a name, maybe what we call CS internal switch. Yeah, good. So in India data center, I'm going to create a switch. I'm not going to buy the switch from the Cisco now. Wow. Go ahead and say next. Good. So the version is again 6.7. That is my VMware version. Perfect. Now it is going to ask you that how many physical port do you require in a switch? That is called uplink. I say that I'm okay with a 4 switch, a 4 port. Just go ahead. Maybe you can type 8, 12, 100, 1000 because it's a virtual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and say next. Go ahead and click finish.
Vipin,
Yeah.
yes, sorry. Here, like we are creating the switch and port and other things in
Right.
virtualized world.
Right.
So is it something like, just for comparison, if we see radio earlier, it was like that hardware, mainly hardware where we are listening. Now radio is just software sort of, simply install and you can see, you can listen the radio.
Yes.
Is it the same way here? The capability that ports or switches provided, software is giving that
Yes,
capability.
everything
When you are
as it is.
selecting-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The best part is that I remember even in your company, if you see that if anyone who is a network guy, right? He must be a CCNA certified, CCMP certified. Why
Yeah.
do? Because he has a capability to run a very complex command to configure the switch.
Yeah.
But in the cloud world, we do not require any expertise.
Yeah.
All are just right click, left click, checkbox, and that's all. So many time the older people are crying. They say that whatever we learn, we practice throughout my career, it is going to destroy. True, na? Right?
Yeah, because whatever the capability individually they were developing, now it's part of the, here on click, behind the scene, all the capabilities.
They said that, yeah, for the last 10 years, 15 years, I was wasting my time. I was doing this all. I have so much certification, but when I come to a virtualized world, everything is just a click. This new guy who just come out from the college is not doing the same task, which I am supposed to do. True, na? Right? Right? But this is how the world is. This is how the world is moving now completely. It's complete virtualized world now. Every company is going on a virtualization. They have implemented private cloud, right? Why the private cloud? Because you see as a business that how you are going to control the expenditure, how you are going to streamline the expenditure, which is cost and used by the different department. And IT definitely play a very important role. Without IT, no one can run a business. Not we as a CoreSec can also run a business. Correct now, right? We need an IT backend, but unfortunately, this costing does never come into the picture. True, na? Right? So now, when we have this whole architecture to be there, we can go and control everything there. Correct? So now your virtual switch is also ready now. This is your virtual switch, sir. Correct?
So Bipin, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Can you explain this switch in a simple term? Like what is the role? Like as far as I understand, it provide the ports and it provide the connectivity, right?
Yes, it is just like that. So when you
Okay.
create a virtual machine, your virtual machine has a virtual LAN card. Okay. That virtual LAN card need to be connected to the virtual port.
Okay.
Then only your virtual machine can communicate to anyone. Correct now?
Okay.
Right. So this is how the whole world, this is how the whole infrastructure is get built now. So now we have know how to create a virtual switch. We know how to create a virtual server. We understand that how the private cloud will look like. We also understand that in a private cloud, you can even map your complete organization. So for an example, if I have to create an organization like a Wipro, then what will I have to do now? I will right click and I will go ahead. Biru, can you right click and create a new data center? Give it a name called Wipro Technology. Each data center may have their own servers and all, right? Correct. So this is how you can go ahead and map the whole organization also inside that private cloud. Just remember all these things, right? Because when we are moving to the public cloud, similar thing is coming to the picture. We have a same way we have a data center, same way we have a regions, same way within the data center we have a servers, right? So when we are moving to the Azure, we will see everything as it is.
Okay, instead of VMware platform, we'll see Azure cloud platform.
Yes,
case,
exactly.
Right?
Yes. Correct, no? Right? So this is how the whole picture will go and work there, right? So what we are seeing right now, we are exactly in a private cloud world. So only difference between the virtualized world and a private cloud is a self-service portal. Plus with the self-service portal, you can even control the chargeback.
Bipin, now we created a private cloud for Wipro Technologies. So only Wipro Technologies can access that
Yes,
cloud, right?
exactly.
Nobody
True.
else can
Very true.
log
Very
into the servers.
Very
Okay.
true. Yes. Yes.
And whatever the servers we have created, when we use, then only we need to pay. If we don't use, we need to pay, right?
Not need to pay, right? So you as a department head, you are actually now become conscious, right? Because you know that if anything extra you cost, it is going to kill your incentive, and nobody wants in the organization to kill their incentives. Correct, huh? Right? So that is the reason why everyone is now controlling, and that is the reason why the private cloud is get boom everywhere. It's boomed. Everyone is running like a crazy for a private cloud. Now I will take you on a tour of a real data center, which is one of the very known organization, which is implemented a same kind of an infrastructure inside there, and they have make this data center run. So just see that when we have a tier 4 data center, when we say tier 4 data center is some specification, like they must have a they must be created in a area where no earthquake should come. That's called non-seismic zone, right? They should create the data center in an area which is must be connected with the multiple power source. They must be in an area which is more secure in terms of no one can watch this data center using a satellite. So all these are the characteristics of the tier 4 data center. So when you have to create your own data center using all this technology, how the data center will look like. So just give me a sec. I am going to take you to the tour now. I'm going to share my screen. I will send you all these video links and a PPT later on, but just for today's sake, just watch. Are you able to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
very good. So I'm playing that now. So this data center is contains around 1,20,000 physical servers. Okay.
Yeah.
So 1,20,000 server spreaded across 8 data centers. Now this data center is built around an area which is a non-seismic zone, and it has also a feature to connect with the hydropower source. So this is a hydroelectric, and then we have a real power which is coming from the state electricity board. So three different kind of a power supply is coming. So it means that if there is a problem in one power supply, still the data center should not be down. Now, in the whole location was built in such a way that even if you try to track using a satellite, you cannot find it out that it is a data center. It just look like a factory, or it is some kind of an a structure, but nowhere it is mentioned that it is a data center.
Who owned these data centers, Bipin? AWS, Azure, or any other
You can
cloud
think that
partner?
it might be AWS data center. You can think that it can be an Azure data center. You can think of it as a Google data center, because all these data centers are actually a tier 4 data centers. Okay. So architecture remains same.
Okay.
So now look at that. In each data center, you have a multiple buildings, right? Because when you go inside the data center, it is actually in acres, and you have a multiple physical buildings. One building generally separated from the another building. It can be a distance of maybe a 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer or a 3 kilometer. So each building may contains 10,000 server, 15,000 server, depending upon how big the. I'm not sure if anyone are living in near around Mumbai or a Pune area. In a Pune area, there are data center of Microsoft, which was actually located inside the Reliance data center premises, which was in a midway of Pune and Mumbai. Now, look at that. These all are the racks. You know that in a day one, I show you that racks. Within each rack, we have a server. So within that physical server, this is just a symbol which is telling that this is your virtual machine. Yeah. So this is going to be your virtual machine. So inside that racks, each rack has a physical server. In each physical server, depending upon the capacity, you can create 100 virtual machine, 200 virtual machines. So this is just one of your virtual machine. Right now, yesterday we show you that you have a multiple type of wire. One wire which is meant for a cooling, one wire which meant for a LAN cable, which is called Cat6, one wire which is only used to connect the server with the storage and other equipment using the fiber. This is cooling, water cooling. Now this is how the data center has been built. All are the racks. Air cooling is very important part, because remember, every server which you have, even your laptop, is emits the heat, right? That heat is making your server or even your laptop, if you run 24/7, it can damage your equipments. So the cooling is very important part of the data center to make them. Hope it's all clear.
Yeah.
Right.
Vipin,
So yeah.
Yeah. So suppose as an organization, generally in earlier days it used to happen, if you, as you explained yesterday also, it's like that physically installing the server application and other thing. Now, suppose even an organization can implement this type of virtualized environment by installing like this VMware. So all the resources are all together, and through VMware, it's virtually all the services can be done.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Only the difference is when we go and, like, suppose if you don't want to set up anything in the market, there are service providers. Same way they have the setup. You can simply buy as a service.
Yes.
Like everything
Yes.
as a service from them.
Exactly.
Not to do anything from your side.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bipin.
Yeah.
Like for example, one organization has their own data center, right? Where they provide the virtual environment. And if they plan to move to cloud, does it mean that they will have to decommission their data center and then they will have to migrate all the things, all their servers or some applications to the cloud?
Yeah. So it's all depend upon that. If the customer say that I want 100% migration, right? It means that I do not want to carry any data center or running in on premises. I want to go ahead and wrap up completely. Then they have to migrate everything to the cloud itself.
So they won't have then, yeah, for example, if they want to migrate 100%, in that case, they won't have their physical data center, right? Then it will go to the cloud and they will
go
have
to the cloud. Yeah.
Okay, either whatever the choice they make, either Azure, AWS, whatever.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Vipin,
Yeah.
To answer that question, actually, they can have private network and cloud. So that will call hybrid network. That's different parts. So they can have combination of both. So that's the question to him. But my question to you is like, if you are having the private cloud, so why cloud again? I mean, what's the difference between private cloud and cloud? I mean, what's the real advantage of
So this
cloud?
is going to be our next chapter, which is called public cloud. So we will understand that why the public cloud come into the picture when we have a private cloud, and what the advantage, disadvantage carry when we are moving from private to a public. So your next class is on public cloud.
So this private cloud, is it in the organization data center?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so that will be there. Okay, but it's still they will have to like buy the services from like AWS or Azure kind of thing, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So how easy,
it's a
like,
kind
you know,
of-
because see, many organization they want to move to the cloud, they will have to do the migration, right?
Yeah.
So it is an area where, you know, a lot of requirement might be coming or something like that.
Yes.
So it is a big thing to migrate to the clouds.
So I give you just one ballpark figure. There are 3 customers. One is from India, one is from US, and one is from Singapore. These 3 customers we are changing for the last 3 years to move to a cloud, public cloud. They are not giving their node, right? They say that no, I'm quite okay. We are happy. We are fantastic. Suddenly they give a call in around April. All these 3 customers, can we move ourselves to a public cloud? You know why? Can you think of the reason why? Because to remember,
COVID.
Because to maintain your data center, you need a physical presence always, right?
Yeah.
Your server sometimes get a snag, their hard disk fail, sometimes switch fail, right? Something will get happen. Sometimes electricity, one of the AC get fail, right? So you need always a physical presence. And when you have a complete lockdown in the area where you cannot move, what will you do? You can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't open your office. And this is a challenge which was faced by many of the customers across the globe. They said that, boss, what is this thing is coming? What will happen if the similar situation coming again? It means that we have to close down our business. Correct, no? If the data center is down and if your server is down, your services is not running, then you are actually closing your business, right? Say that let's move to a cloud. And the migration we did by sitting at remotely everywhere.
Yeah, the real scenario which happened 2 years ago for one of my client. Network Rail is doing some work and they cut down the wires. The entire data center went down for 2 days.
It's a challenge, right? It's a challenge. Just imagine a situation when the Zoom is down, right? Let's say Zoom data center down. You know that how much business it will impact globally. Correct, no? Right? So that is the reason why people are now, even after all this situation, people are now tend to move. And one another situation which we faced 3 years back, I'm not sure if you all are aware that in a Chennai, it was a huge flood come.
Yeah.
Right? So 80% customer data center was generally built in a basement. Every data center is flooded. And this is the time when we actually hit almost 200 plus migration in a 6 month. 200 plus migration on a cloud. All the customer who was pretty not able to listen to us. No, we are very happy. Our team is fantastic. Our application is running. The moment their data center is down, the whole business is down for a month. Then they say that, boss, no, I will go and use that cloud. Only the customer who has another data center, maybe in another location can be Hyderabad and Bangalore. They are safe. Otherwise, most of the customer is drowned. They gone. You understood, na? So it means that even running your services on premises is always a risky. You can't imagine. You can't have so much money that you can go and build your 10 data center across the globe, correct? No, because it need a costing.
So this private cloud is still an in-premise cloud, right?
It's in premise, completely in premise.
It's just your resources you made a cloud sort of, because you can use all together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you virtualized your resources.
Yeah.
So that means private cloud is still like a kind of traditional data center, looks like,
Yes,
but it
yes.
will be managed by somewhere else, and you can manage through the portals.
Portal itself.
Be
Yes.
physically present in the, as if in the traditional
Yes.
data
Yes.
centers.
Yes.
Vipin, is cost is different from private to public cloud, or is it
Private
exactly-
cloud is your cost only.
Okay.
So we will talk about later. There is a two model called COPEX and OPEX. Okay. One is a capital expenditure. One is called operational expenditure. So when we are in the next chapter, when we are talking about the public cloud, we understand all this terminology. So far, so good. You've seen the private cloud now. You've seen the virtualized environment also, right? So see you next in a Monday when we are talking about the public cloud.
Yeah, Vipin.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Vipin.
Is it
Happy
Monday
Diwali.
or Tuesday?
It's on Tuesday, Vipin.
Tuesday. Yeah, sure.
Tuesday and same time, right? 6:30.
Same time. Same time.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Happy Diwali.
Okay.
Be
Happy
safe.
Diwali all.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
Happy
you.
Diwali,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks. Sir. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.